you think that this trade deadline could have a level of movement that we haven't seen? You know, Brett, there were things said from a certain insider about how crazy this offseason was going to be, and it did not live up to its expectations. I think some moves did get made. Looking at what is going on, and yes, there is a mess in Sacramento, but there's a mess all over the place. I mean, there are a number of teams that just don't know what's going to happen, disgruntled stars, this, that, the other. Do you think that this trade deadline could have a level of movement that we haven't seen?
You know, it's funny because I was just talking with a West executive about this last night about, hey, what's your early thoughts on the trade deadline? Because we're seeing some of the drama start with some of these teams. We've seen the struggles of teams like the Pelicans, the Kings in the West, and teams underperforming their expectations. What do you think it's going to look like? And the simple answer right now, and it's kind of dumb, but it's we don't know. And the reason for that is because there's no clear shot to getting star players anymore with the way that the CBA works. And with all the financial restrictions in place and teams trying to dump salary and avoid these apron lines, will a team be willing to do what the Phoenix Suns did and go all out with a big three and hard cap themselves in the second apron? Are teams willing to do that anymore? And it doesn't seem like that's the case. So now you're carrying one, maybe two big contracts and really filling out the rest of your roster with depth. So now we're going to see guys like DeMar DeRozan go from being a starter to maybe being a sixth man on a playoff team and being in different rotations. And that's what makes this trade deadline so unique, because teams are going to be targeting depth instead of stars. Whereas in the past, it was always, what is the big star on the market and how can we bring him in to pair him with our other star? That philosophy and that line of thinking doesn't exist for about 25, 26 teams in this league anymore. They're all focused on how can we surround our all-stars with the best capable talent to compete in a Western Conference that's run by a very young team that won a championship last year, not just because they had the MVP of the league, but because they could go 8, 9, 10, 11 guys deep in the playoffs and find success with all 10 or 11 of those guys. So that's kind of where my mind is at with the trade deadline right now. And that's why when you look at all these trade hypotheticals and you're trying to put stuff together and look at what teams can make moves, it's very hard to say right now.